Hello, and welcome to part 3 of this growth series. Thank you so much for all your shares and your loves on the previous parts. And if you haven't listened to those, feel free to go back and listen to them because all of this will make sense. Basically, in a nutshell, we're talking about growth in uncertain times, even though you might be completely exhausted. And do you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. I bet you are exhausted. We're all feeling it, aren't we? Obviously some more than others. I'm just being so careful about what I say. But to be honest, when I'm looking at my Fitbit app, because I am a Fitbit nerd since I got it for Christmas, not sponsoring the podcast, but I am available if you want to talk Fitbit because I love it. I'm averaging about, somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a night. And it's not enough. I really like my sleep. And I am that person who has only seen about 18 minutes of most films because I've fallen asleep. I've also had some really great naps at house parties. I am that person. So I am definitely working on my goal for getting more sleep in 2020. That would be lovely. So just to clarify once again, when we're talking about growth, we're talking about doing it gently. We're still talking about, seeing our families and listening to our intuition and our body and our circumstances and all of that good stuff. But also, I'm working on a basis that if I can help you to grow the things that you want to grow in the time available, everything is going to feel so much better and like you're in control of it. Because there's nothing worse than feeling completely overwhelmed, not knowing where to start, feeling like you're being pulled in all kinds of different directions. And then you sit down at your laptop and you go, I don't know where to start. So oh gosh, I don't know where to start. And then you go into that spiral of self-doubt and overwhelmed and is this a good idea? And maybe I should watch this video. And then suddenly you're watching a documentary about storage boxes or how somebody rearranges their fridge. And you think, how did I get here? So I really hope that some of these will be really feasible for you to get going with now and really consider. Now, in the context of all of this list, when I was writing it as a whole, because I knew what I was going to say from the beginning, it doesn't feel harsh, this next one, but as I've broken it down into this is the one that I'm starting with, it sounds a bit rough. I'm sorry about that. But it is a good question that I ask myself a lot. And it stops me in my tracks, and it brings me, it's like a knee-jerk moment for me. And the question is, do you want your goals? Do you want this? And this sounds very reality show, like, do you want this? I really want this, Simon. Simon, I love you. This is my dream. I really want this. And it's a question I have had to ask a lot. Not because it feels all rosy and glowy and glossy. I've had to ask it a lot because there's been times where it's felt really bloody hard and rubbish. And certainly as an actor, oh my goodness, there was one year where I didn't have a single audition and a single job. And I paid all of my subscription fees and everything you need to pay to be an actor. And when I wrote, looked at my accounts, I was like, I didn't make any money. Brilliant. I mean, obviously I made other money, but doing things I probably didn't want to be doing at that time. And there have been definitely moments where I've had to ask this in do you want this? Also, it's a really good question that I've used over the years when I'm faffing about. And I'm not saying, and I'm not ruling out those feelings, those situations, those triggers which need or may not need professional help or a trauma that's coming to the surface. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you get stuck in that, I don't want to, I'm so tired, or you're playing the procrastination game. When you know that you just need to do the thing and not get stuck in the perfection or the uncertainty and do the thing. So do you want this? Do you want this goal? Is this thing going to take you closer? Has been such a powerful question. And also, it's a powerful question because sometimes I found myself doing things and I'm all like, oh, I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, I'm at my desk, it's all very swishy, la la la. And then I have to stop and go, oh, okay. Why am I being busy doing this? Because it's not getting me any closer. So this is a good one to stop you in your tracks. It's a pattern interrupter. People always say that, don't they, in terms of hypnotherapists, a pattern interrupter. And it's really good just to keep checking in. And this could be, I don't know, when you get an email saying, oh, we would love you to do X, Y, and Z. Do you want this? Is it taking you closer to... is it taking you closer to where you want to be and what you want to do? Because, it's not always easy. I mean, you might be thinking at the end of it, like, Nikki, I don't want to do any growth, actually. You're making it sound really tough and rubbish. Believe me, it will all be worth it. I promise. Oh, gosh, here's another kicker. Here we go. Number 14. It might be really lonely and isolating. Yeah, it sounds like a really bad indie record sometimes, what has gone in my head. That thing of like, no, or with like some really thrashy drums on the back, like, nobody understands me, nobody gets it, I can't get my message across. It's really hard, and I've found it really hard over the years, doing something that hasn't necessarily been done before around my friends and family, but doing something that has been quite abstract in the way that people have been able to help me. And I know that sometimes there have been moments with very close friends and family, and they want to be practical. They want to help. You know, I remember, this makes me emotional just thinking about it. When I had Luna, I was having one of those Saturday mornings. I don't know if you've ever had this, whether you've got kids or not, but a Saturday morning where you just, and I mean, I had them before kids, but you just couldn't get your life together. And Oscar was 3 and Luna was maybe, 5 weeks old. And Matt was away on a weird work trip. I can't remember what that was. And my friend Jess, who's a yoga teacher, she's been featured on this podcast, came over and she looked at me and hugged me. And I had that, being hugged by a dinner lady moment, when the dinner lady hugs you and you go, whoop, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry at school. But, I could cry a little bit with my friend Jess. And she was like, do you want tea or coffee? And I was like, I would like a tea. Thank you. She's like, great. And do you know what she did while she was boiling the kettle? She started to do the washing up. She started to clean my kitchen because, let's face it, it was looking less than Instagram friendly. And there are some people in your life that will be able to tune in to what you need and go beyond the practical. And those people might be those who might be in a different industry, but they've seen how hard you've worked for something. Or they've been on the end of the phone when you've said, I really thought that was my one. I really thought it. I felt it in my bones. I thought that was my job. And it didn't work out. And that person knows what to do. And that person just is not in that state of panic and going, right, I'm coming over. I'm going to buy you chocolates and I'm going to do that. But they're just holding that space for you. And what I found in my entrepreneurial journey, sorry, I always feel like such a wazzock saying that, but what I found in my entrepreneurial journey is that just because you have friends or family in one area of your life who you love and adore and you get on well with, you don't necessarily get is not the right word, that we have different people in our lives for different reasons. And so sometimes there have been moments where I have felt a bit lonely and isolated, or, you know, you've been the butt of somebody's joke because they're like, oh, you're still doing that thing, are you? Oh, right. And you just think, well, yes, I am. And I am. And I'm listening to my heart and my true calling. And that's okay. And that's okay if you don't get it, because I have these people over here who do. And that's been really interesting in terms of my growth. And I think going back into the boundary chat, really realizing where I need to put those boundaries. So in certain situations where potentially I could feel lonely or isolated or misunderstood, I've almost got that framework, that protection around me of, no, it's okay. You're doing the right thing. It's going to be okay. Number 15 is really going into those boundaries and relationships and really knowing what you know to be true. And I found this in terms of growth, of really understanding what I need in certain situations and what therefore I'm able to give moving forward. So sometimes I remember at drama school there was that pressure, like, oh my goodness, we've all got to go to the pub tonight and we've all got to do this and we're all going to go into central London tomorrow and then we're going to go to Ministry of Sound, which is not my bag at all, as a bit of an indie chick. Not an indie chick now, but I certainly was back then. You have to put those boundaries in relationships and protect yourself in those growth phases. Because you're not necessarily going to have excess energy. And this is the case, especially with things like Zoom or stuff that's going on now, or people who want your time, or they want to have a virtual coffee with you, or they, I don't know, they want to take you to a restaurant when this is all over. So I'm not saying you have to go into hiding and be all mysterious, like, whatever happened to Nikki? Like, 1 minute she was here and now she's not. But you can sometimes just explain, like, I'm going through a big growth of business at the moment. It's going to take a lot of my attention. I'm really noticing, and my goodness me, I'm not telling you how to parent here, but I've really noticed when I explain to my 5-year-old what I'm doing, he's much more easy breezy about the whole situation, because he gets it, like he's a digital entrepreneur, but like he gets what I'm talking about. He gets the importance of it and what that all means. So yes, just be really aware of what you need. And again, there might be some moments along the way where people do that. You never come out with us anymore, or you're a different person. And I'm not going to pretend that everybody has come with me for the journey, because they haven't. And it's annoying to some people. If you're ambitious, it triggers them. You get a bit of passive aggression, and it's very complicated. It's very complex. But what you need to be able to do is stand in your integrity and what you know to be true, and, you know, be that good person that you know that you are. One of the things that has really helped me during these growth periods is that sense of being able to listen to outward and inward knowledge. What I mean by this is there are some situations through growth, I mean, especially at drama school, we were given it wasn't your normal university experience. Like, we were in 9 o'clock every morning until 7, and you had to go home and learn lines. And I mean, I was the fittest I've ever been. I don't even know how small my waist was. It was quite something, but you know, it was full on. But there are some things sometimes as part of this process where you might have resistance, and you're like, I know that they're telling me that this is going to 10x my business, but I'm just not feeling it. Or that sense like, I just don't think my customer would like that. Or it makes me feel a bit icky. So having that on my website would just not be in alignment. It's really important to understand their voices and also your own voice. And my own inner, and I'm not saying I'm a clairvoyant or anything like that, but I certainly do have a strong sense of self and intuition. I'm very attuned to energy, and there are some times when people will like email me saying I want to work with you, and immediately I'm like, no, this is not the right person, or this is not the right opportunity, because the energy isn't right. It doesn't feel aligned. It feels like it's just going to be a weird experience, and sometimes you just can't put your finger on it. And that inner voice, that inner listening, and that inner wisdom, I guess it is, has just served me well in so many things. And I want to say, in relation to business and you going forward in this growth period for yourself, it's going to be really important that you have that pull of being able to listen to both sides of the spectrum. And sometimes you will go, right, I really need some strategy, I need some accountability, I need to go. I need to watch somebody who's already done this so I can shortcut the process. But sometimes it might be, I need to go inwards. I need to really figure out how I can start showing up in a way that feels like me. Or I need to get creative again, and the internet is too loud for me, so I need to take myself away and spend a couple of days in the woods, or whatever it is. But really understanding that the two will work together. So even like last year when I signed up to work with a coach for 12 months, not 12 years, not 12 years. She's very good, but we're not doing 12 years at this stage. I knew that she was going to say things, but I'm a 39-year-old woman. Even though she's an expert in lots of areas, I was still going to question things. I was still going to have that check-in. Is this going to be right for me? Is this going to work for my business? Oh, okay. How would I do? Does this feel good? Okay. And I would really be aware of that in this process, rather than just being a yes person going, oh my goodness, I should try that. This is also going to be really useful for you if you find yourself signing up for every single free webinar, or watching or consuming a lot of free content. Because if you're experiencing all kinds of things, you might get to a stage where you go, I've got to try it all. Oh no, I've got to switch my message. Oh, that person says that the latest thing is this. Oh, maybe I should be on LinkedIn. Maybe, or what is this Pinterest thing? That's when you're going to start to hop from hop. And actually, by flipping it around and asking the question, like, what's my next right step? What's my inner wisdom telling me? What's the next moment here? That's really, really important. I'm sorry, I've got a creaky chair going on. Number 17, this is really key, and it's about not necessarily challenging what society expects of that thing. So your growth will require you to operate in a different way. And I saw that, fortunately, very early on with actors on set. And so going back to point number 12, I made it my business to get in a real life working actor state early on. Because if I could step into that situation, it was going to give me clues about how I needed to show up. And operating in a different way is going to get you different results. And you have to be aware of what this operating at your optimum is going to work with. And again, this is going to challenge you, because it's going to mean that you're available and unavailable for different questions. So when I drop my kid off at the school gates, it can be very easy to fall into, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, oh, not too bad. Yeah, I'm quite tired. Like, I can go into that low vibe small talk. And that's not to say I'm going to go to a parent like, what is the true meaning of life? Because they'll be like, Nikki, you just need to not be asking that at 10 to 9 in the morning. But what I am saying is I don't let myself go down that path, because that actually takes a lot of energy to shake off that sense of, why am I spending all my time complaining or playing small or just sort of skirting around issues? I know that I've got a bigger purpose here. I know you have a bigger purpose. So really be aware of how you're operating. And if you're getting yourself stuck, or you feel like, I just feel a bit rubbish. And there's been certainly times in my life where I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like something, I've got to switch something up, because I'm kind of coasting, or lots of things are not serving me. And there's definitely been times in my life where I've really shaken things up. But becoming familiar with what you need and how you want to operate and how you want to be in the world is very important. And also being able to know how to get there really quickly. So again, it could go back to that moment of, if I have a speaking event the next day, I know I need an early night the night before. I know that my slides, my presentation needs to be locked in 2-3 days before. There's none of this like, oh blimey, I better add a few more bits to that slideshow on the morning of. No, this is not how we do things. So operating in a different way is really important. Number 18, when you're thinking about growth, it can be really easy to go, it's kind of like going to Alton Towers. It can be really tempting to go for the big, fast, scary rides. So the big, like, whoa, a big launch, a big money injection. Oh my gosh, I landed that client, or I'm doing this really exciting thing. And that's the stuff that you have. But what my question is where can you ride the teacups a little bit? Are you closing up those details? So for example, if somebody gives you a shout out, so somebody might go, oh my goodness, somebody gave me a shout out on Instagram and I've suddenly got 20,000 new followers. That's quite an extreme amount, but you know where I'm going with this. You might get all excited, like, yeah, phone my friend, I'm going to do this, can't believe it, wow, this is amazing, putting it in your networking group, etc. But that is very much about riding all the big roundabouts, big roller coasters. So my question is are you taking the time to do those small details, to actually say to the person or leave them a voice note and go, gosh, thank you so much for doing that. That really has changed things for my business. You can hear Luna in the background. That's really changed things for my business. It's going to be incredible to see what's happened. I really appreciate you taking the time and thinking of me in that way. Are you doing that? And that goes for everything that you do. The amount of podcast episodes, people who want to be on a podcast episode, and the email is awful. Like, I can do this. I want to show this. And there's nothing reciprocal. Reciprocal, is that the word? There's no reciprocity there. And it just feels a bit weird. So wherever you go along the way, and how you communicate in every email, and you're going through that growth stage, don't forget about those small details, because people remember. The fact that, you know, the first time I got booked by stylists, the next morning I made sure that I emailed every single person that had helped me and had been part of it. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. It's going crazy out there. She is with Matt. Let's see what she's up to in a bit. Okay, we're nearly there. When I was at drama school, I had to do a West End showcase. And in my third year, and we had to, I'm sure I've talked about this before, really scary experience, really scary. Basically, it was that time where you would do a little scene or a song. I can't remember what I did. And agents would come and they would watch you, and then you would all stand on the stage at the end, and agents would watch you again, and then you'd go up to the bar, and there would be piles of everybody's CV, and the agents could help themselves. And then you would go to your CVs and headshots and go, okay, I had 30 to begin with. How many have been taken? As in, how many are interested in what I have to offer? Very humbling experience, let's just say. But I had to do 2 performances. There was one in the evening, I believe, and one in the afternoon. And I wore this very early 2000s kind of swishy, edgy, am I going to say urban? No, maybe not. Skirt. It was really cool. It had this flicky thing on because I didn't want to wear a suit and I didn't want to wear like a really weird, uncomfortable, frumpy dress. So I had this kind of cute white top and this like swishy, parachutey skirt. It was cool. Anyway, I had this white top, and when I was talking to my mum about what I was going to wear, I remember her saying, you need to go and buy 2 of those tops. And I thought, well, do I? Really? Like, I'm literally wearing this on stage for 5 minutes. And then, I'm saying to my mum, even though I was a grown-up person, like, no, I'll take it off straight away and I'll hang it. Like, it's going to be fine. And my mum was like, no. She was like, I will get the second top for you. This needs to be done properly. And that was a real... And I'm not saying like the fact I had a second top meant I got an agent, but I did get an agent and I got 2 jobs back to back from that one performance. And there's always those things sometimes where you see like a stain on somebody's top, or you see some, I don't know, that the trousers are not ironed or something. It's all in the detail. So thank you, Mum. You were absolutely right. All right, number 19. Giving yourself permission to want what you want. There've been many times in my life where I've thought, yeah, but like I'm happy, I'm good, I've had a really good life so far. Or I don't know. Success and going for it and ambition and what it brings and putting yourself in different places might try and convince you that this shouldn't be the case for you. But I try and work on the basis that if I have that niggle again and again and again and again and again, it's meant for me. Because there are so many niggles that I don't have. I've never had an urge to be a train driver or fly a plane or, I don't know, open a chain of hotels. Who do I think I am? I've never had that. So the fact that I do have things that I'm going, go on, I want that, maybe it is meant for me. Maybe they were placed. And it's interesting, like watching my kids, and maybe you've done that with the children in your life, where they are who they are. And they're revealing already all these things, like, and I notice it with my 5-year-old sometimes. He's like, I love this. This makes me feel really good, mummy. And I just pay attention to that growth process, which you will do at a greater or lesser degree, something that will work for you. Pay attention to the stuff that you love and see what happens when you believe that this is all in your favor, that every step and every there's a song in there somewhere, every move you make, I'll be watching you. There is a song in there. Sorry, that's such a dad joke. That's what my dad would have said. But lean into that. I know when I have not my darkest moments, that sounds very dramatic, but you have to keep going back. Why am I here? What am I meant for? What are the things that I just find so easy that I could help other people with? There's so much in there. The final one. It's a daily practice. It's a daily practice, and I'm not saying, and this is when people talk about their morning routine and they say, I get up and I meditate for 2 hours in the morning, and then I do my gym workout, and then I do this, and then I do that. And that pressure of feeling like you have to do all of the things and then get going on the stuff that you actually have to do. And certainly in these times, this daily practice thing or this slice of the day for you might just seem like a bit of a joke that I'm saying this. Like, Nikki, I'm trying to homeschool my 5 children. Why are you saying to do those sorts of things? And this phrase, it's a daily practice, is just a reminder. And there are some days that I can do loads of stuff like, woo, yeah, I'm so on purpose and I'm doing it and I'm feeling great about it. And stuff that might take people 6 months to do, I can do in an afternoon. I don't have those days often, but sometimes I do. When I am in alignment, when I am moving and shaking and really paying attention to all the things that I need to do, oh, it feels so good. It feels great. So then when there are days where I go, I need to have a break today. I need to close down my laptop. Just because you're not actively at your computer doesn't mean that you've binned off your dreams. Sometimes those moments, and I spoke about it on the podcast, when I went to Sandbanks last September, we bizarrely got a week where we were able to go away. On the second day, I was finding so much resistance in my, not my client work because I wasn't working necessarily. I'd actually booked the time off work, but I was feeling so resistant. I was like, maybe I should write a blog post about this, like 5 ways you can really maximize your holiday time. I was like, hang about, why am I still, just because I can have a remote business, why am I? Interesting. So closing down the laptop and allowing those thoughts, feelings, aha moments, realizations, nudges was like the best work that I'd done for a long time. Because when I came back, September, October, November, like really great, powerful months in terms of change and growth. So when I'm talking about a daily practice, I would say it's about doing the stuff that puts you in a really good place. It's coming back to feeling good, isn't it? And sometimes you go, I can only do 10 minutes today. That's all I literally have the capacity to. So what are you going to do with that 10 minutes to get you closer to where you ultimately want to go? So there we are. There's 20 points there. Do with them what you wish. Enjoy them. Experiment with them. Ditch them. Come back to them, reinvent them, whatever it is you need to do it. They are yours, and I'm gifting them from me to you, from my heart. And I think it's about really making them your own. It's not about going, Nikki did this in this way, maybe I should do that. No, like pay attention to what you need. Tweak them, combine them, blend them. You will know what to do next. Now, I'm going to finish this by asking a favor, if I may. If you've enjoyed this series, please do share it on your Instagram stories and tag me at Nikki Raby. And also, if you're listening to this and you're like, Nikki, it's time. It's time. Why am I sitting on this fence? Why am I assuming that I'm going to get something different by doing the same things? If that is you, do come over and book a free 15-minute session with me. I'm not for everybody. I was going to say I'm very demanding. I'm not really, but what I do is I hold space for where you're going. So if you say, I want X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to support you to get there. And sometimes that support looks like you can send the email right now. You are ready. That accountability, that's somebody in your corner who's going to go, yeah, you can. Come on, let's go. Woo woo. So yeah, some people might find that annoying that they actually have to do the thing that they say they're going to do. But please know it's always with love and care and consideration, and working within your own circumstances as well. So if you want to find out more, I have a range of services available. Do come on over and drop me an email and let me know what you want to do this year. I can't wait to support you. And let's do this. Off we go. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Lots of love as always. And I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.